On this accord, P0533 means the ECM/PCM is seeing the A/C pressure sensor signal high. In plain terms, the control side thinks the A/C pressure sensor circuit is reporting too much voltage. The customer may notice the A/C not operating normally, or the system may simply store the code. The broad fault areas can include the A/C pressure sensor, the sensor connector, or wiring, the signal and ground circuits back to the PCM, or in some cases the PCM software or PCM input side. Before testing, save the captured operating data and any onboard snapshot. Then start with the basic system checks so you know whether this is current or intermittent. Start the engine and let it idle. Turn the blower on, then turn the A/C on. With the HDS, watch the A/C pressure sensor parameter. If it reads more than 475 V, the fault is duplicated and you move into circuit testing. If it does not meet that threshold, treat it as an intermittent condition for now. The system is okay at this time, so concentrate on poor connections or loose terminals at the A/C pressure sensor and at the PCM. Next, shut the ignition off. On a keyed vehicle, that is lock 0. On a push-button vehicle, select OFF mode. Disconnect the A/C pressure sensor 3P connector. Install a jumper between terminal No. 1. The BLU wire and terminal No. 2. The RED wire. Turn the ignition back on, either on Roman 2 or on mode, and check the A/C pressure sensor parameter again with the HDS. If it still shows more than 475 V, keep going because the high reading is still present with the sensor disconnected and the circuit jumped. If it no longer matches that threshold, the supported repair path is to replace the A/C pressure sensor. Then verify the repair. If the high reading stayed present during the jumper test, turn the ignition off again and remove the jumper wire. Leave the A/C pressure sensor connector disconnected. Turn the ignition on, then measure voltage between A/C pressure sensor connector No. 1. The BLU wire and connector No. 3. The BRN wire. This check is between the SG6 and VCC6 circuits. You are looking for about 50 V. If about 50 V is present, move to the PD sensor wire continuity check. If about 50 V is not present, move to the SG6 continuity check. For the PD sensor wire check, turn the ignition off. Jump the SCS line with the HDS, then disconnect PCM connector A, the 51P connector. With the A/C pressure sensor 3P connector still disconnected and PCM connector A disconnected, check continuity from A/C pressure sensor connector No. 2. The RED wire to PCM connector A41, also the RED wire. If there is continuity, the PD sensor wire is okay. At that point, update the PCM if it does not have the latest software or substitute a known good PCM. Then verify the repair. If there is no continuity, repair the open in the PD sensor wire between PCM A41 and the A/C pressure sensor. Then verify the repair. If the earlier voltage check did not show about 50 V, check the SG6 wire. Turn the ignition off, jump the SCS line with the HDS, and disconnect PCM connector A, the 51P connector. With the A/C pressure sensor connector and PCM connector A both disconnected, check continuity from A/C pressure sensor connector No. 1. The BLU wire to PCM connector A28, also the BLU wire. If there is continuity, the SG6 wire is okay. Update the PCM if it does not have the latest software or substitute a known good PCM. Then verify the repair. If there is no continuity, repair the open in the SG6 wire between PCM A28 and the A/C pressure sensor. Then verify the repair. Keep verification separate from the circuit test. Turn the ignition off, reconnect all connectors, and exit SCS mode with the HDS. Turn the ignition on, reset the PCM with the HDS, and do the PCM idle learn procedure. Then start the engine and let it idle. Turn the blower on, turn the A/C on, and check for pending or confirmed DTCs with the HDS. if P0533 is not indicated, troubleshooting for this code is complete. If P0533 is still indicated, recheck for poor connections or loose terminals at the A/C pressure sensor and at the PCM. If the previous path involved PCM updating or PCM substitution and the next return point is unclear, pause, recheck the earlier diagnostic path, and avoid guessing. If other codes are present, handle those separately after this P0533 path is complete. The key on P0533 is to prove whether the high signal is coming from the sensor itself, an open in the PD sensor or SG6 wiring, or the PCM side after the circuit checks pass. Verify the repair under the same A/C operating conditions and make sure the code stays gone. For more diagnostic training, visit Diagnostics.com.